my main message is children cannot consent to puberty blockers. And I have my definition of a dad, a human male who protects his kids from gender ideology. That's my most popular one for sure. But my main message is about the medical abuse going on. And when it comes to messaging, I think it's really important. We don't have to worry about the haters. They're irrelevant. They're totally irrelevant. We don't need to reach them. We don't need to change any of their minds. We only need to reach the people in the middle. And they're 90% of the population. The extremists who are pushing this are a very small minority. This is truly the tyranny of the minority who have made all this possible. And any time anyone objects, they scream and shout bloody murder and threaten to kill you. Well, whatever. Go ahead and do your little scare tactics. You don't matter. What matters are these kids. But the scare tactics with normal people are pretty effective at silencing them. And this whole cancel culture, and everyone thinks they're going to get fired from their jobs and all that. But there are ways to talk about this where every person, no matter where they are at, they have to agree with you. Even the most radical leftist who's pushing this, they can't argue with me when I say children are beautiful just as they are. So instead of fighting, we need to find sources of agreement. And I say there's no right way to be a boy or a girl, because there isn't. And they all agree with that too. We shouldn't put kids in some stereotypical box. Yes, absolutely. If a boy likes the color pink, does that make him a girl? No. So what I do with these people is I say things that they can't help but agree with, because in that moment you're causing cognitive dissonance. These two competing ideas are now going on in their brain. They first thought Billboard Chris is evil, and then the next thing, they can't help but agree with what I'm saying. So now they're very confused. And that's a beautiful ending to that conversation, to be honest with you, because someone who's out there to yell at me on the street, they don't want to have a conversation. They want to win a conversation. And I'm not interested in that. I'm just here to have nice, good faith conversations with people. But they'll go home and they'll think about this some more. And maybe in a few years, they'll come around, because they're essentially in a cult where they self-police their own thoughts and they don't allow themselves to look at the evidence. Because to acknowledge that what I'm saying is true would be to shatter all of their social circles and their whole belief system. And for most people who believe in this, that's far too much for them to confront. Just like in any cult, it takes them time and it takes them questioning their own beliefs. Everyone who's in a cult, way in the back of their mind, they know there's something wrong going on, but they're conditioned not to question. And that's exactly what